How's it going? Hello from Austin, Texas. I'm out here. I'm going to visit my daughter, have dinner with her tomorrow. So I came out this way to see her before the holidays. Since I'm going to be moving to Florida, I won't be here during Thanksgiving, so I wanted to come out and have dinner with her one more time before I took off. Intro music, Just a Gigolo by David Lee Roth. Gosh, I wish I could remember who the original artist is. I heard the original for the first time not that long ago, and the cover is pretty much a dead-on cover. It's he did it. Roth tried to do it very much like the original, which is pretty fun. It's old. God, it's got to be from the, I don't even know what era. I would guess around the 40s or something. I'm gonna have to look that up and maybe put a link to it because it's a pretty neat song. So anyway, this was a fun tune. When Roth was thinking about leaving Van Halen the first time, or I won't say the first time, when he was thinking about leaving it one of the times, he went off and did a little solo album, Crazy from the Heat, and it's more like an EP. I can't remember, there's not that many songs on it, but this is one of them. They're all cover tunes. I think he did California Girls, also by the Beach Boys, and some other pretty cool songs. I like the album. Definitely different than Van Halen. Anyway, hold on. Hey Alexa, turn off. Got the convenience of Alexa here today with me for the music, so that's kind of nice. Now I don't have to yell at the video. I'm sorry, my thoughts probably came out of the gate there pretty scattered. Let me back up a little bit. I took on a new job. I can announce now I'm going to be working for Orthotic and Prosthetic Centers, or known as OPC, a company I was actually working for before, a little over a year ago. I'm going back. I've kept in touch with the owner since I left, and he asked me to come back. I'm going to be coming back in a little bit different of a role. Instead of doing marketing, I'm going to be doing strictly advocacy, which I think is awesome. I'm going to just be visiting patients and doing lunches and stuff like that, going to seminars and stuff, but it's going to be definitely more patient care related, and I'm excited about it. I'm moving this Saturday. So I'm in Texas. Today is Wednesday. I have dinner with my daughter tomorrow evening. I'm going to drive to New Orleans, pick up my stuff, and head out either late Friday or early Saturday. I've got a place there that a little studio apartment on Daytona Beach, Florida, so I'm really excited about that. On other fronts, diet is still good. I haven't gained or lost weight. I'm sitting at about 205, which I'm okay with. Beats the 235 I was at a while back, so I do want to get down. I'd like to drop another 10 or 15 pounds. I really like to get in the 185 range. That would be really thin for me, but I think at this age, it'd be good for me. Don't need to be carrying around any extra. But I feel good. My next video, I believe I'm going to do on exercise and diet. The importance of it as an amputee and as a person in general. Without getting too much further in this, let's do our little ritual here, what I like to call positive affirmation drink. If this is your first time watching one of these videos, I like to do a little drink. It's like a toast. It says, attitude is everything. It is my belief that your daily, weekly, monthly, yearly outlook affects your life. How you look at life when you get out of bed every morning can affect it. You know, if you go through life with a great attitude, I think it will help make it more enjoyable for yourself and other people in your life. Obviously, bad things can happen along with the good. That's what life's about. But keeping a good perspective and being as positive as you can, having a great attitude, I really believe in that. I believe in mind power, and that's definitely one of the facets of it. I'm big time. I love that kind of stuff. I'm into time travel, the alternate realities, creating your own reality, the power of your mind, all that kind of stuff. I really think that stuff is neat. I've been listening to it off and on for years, but I'm going through it again. The How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie book right now, which I would highly recommend to anybody who's wanting to make a change in their life. It will help you professionally and personally. It's not as much spiritual as some other things, meditating or religious things like that, but it's pretty neat. And it does talk about some of that. It definitely talks about the power of your mind and your belief, which what this whole attitude is everything is about. So if you want to get a drink and have one with me, I've got some pecan coffee here that I dug up in that place. I'm actually at my mom's house here in the Austin area. She's out of town right now. Just squatting, staying until out here working. I'm still doing gig work, doing the Uber Eats. And I'm going to go see, like I said, go see my daughter before I head back. Because there's some very good, I'm not going to be back here for Thanksgiving. It's just, I'm going to be just getting settled into my new place. My start date at OPC is November the 14th, Monday. So I've got about a week or a little over to get out there and get settled in. I'm really excited to be back with a great company and doing great things. And it's a cool area. It's a challenging market because there's a lot of prosthetic companies out there, but it's also a very nice place. A lot of great people out there. I'm really looking forward to it. Speaking of my mom, I just see she just sent me a text asking me how things are going. So without further ado, if you've got that drink, on the count of three, I'm already 7 minutes into this and I haven't even done the positive affirmation toast. We're going to do attitude is everything. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Attitude is everything. Oh yeah. Some nice rich coffee there. So now that we're 8 minutes into this, today's video is about not having insurance as an amputee. I'm definitely not an expert, but I do know a thing or two from my personal experience and working with other amputees. What do you do when you don't have insurance? Okay. Well, step one, you want to look and see if you can get some type of insurance. Whether you're employed or not, I would well, it depends on your situation, obviously, and what state you're in and all that, but I would contact Social Security and apply for disability. That is a surefire way to get medical coverage. It is a little bit of a time-consuming process from what I've seen, and dealing with the government and all that type of thing. So you have to be patient. But from my understanding, at least areas I've worked in Florida, Louisiana, and Texas, a lot of times you will get denied for disability the first time you apply. From what I've heard, they do that to just about everybody. Then you go ahead and you appeal, and you usually qualify for disability. What this will do is open you up to Medicare eventually, or Medicare coverage, and that is really great coverage for prosthetics. So that's one thing I would definitely look into if you're a new amputee, is applying for disability. Now, I know there's some people out there that there are some pros and cons to being on disability. You're not allowed to work a certain amount of hours or make a certain amount of money if you're on one of these programs. So you need to check into all that. But that doesn't mean you can't work part-time still. Especially with today's economy, there's all kinds of opportunities out there for people, disabled or not, to do things online, or like I'm doing Uber Eats or whatever. So that might be another way to supplement your income and still keep your benefits. Or you may want to go back to work eventually full-time, but use the disability to get back on your feet. That's another option. There are some states where it's a little different, like Texas. It used to be called DARS, but I think you go through the Texas Workforce Commission now, and you can talk to them, and they will help pay for a prosthetic and help train you to go back to work. And I think, from what I understand, the way the state looks at that is they'd rather have someone that goes back to work instead of who's going to be on disability and getting money for X amount of years. So they'd rather pay that money that way. So I think that's a great incentive program. So you need to, wherever you're located at, you need to look into that first thing. Now, if that doesn't work, or you don't feel like dealing with the government, and I don't blame you. I was in the military for 4 wonderful years, and I'm not big on red tape, waiting in lines, going to the VA and all that stuff. I think all those things the government can really help people, but I get a little bit of, what's the word for it? Some flashback anxiety from my days in the service, just having to deal with all that bureaucracy. If you're more of a rugged individualist, maybe we could call it, or someone who just doesn't want to deal with that, or for whatever reason don't think you could qualify, another thing you can do is go to your local prosthetic companies. On a prosthesis, and this all depends on its case by case. If this is your first prosthetic, well, you're going to need to obviously get a whole prosthesis. If it's not, if you've had a prosthetic before, you may need to just replace the socket. And you're probably like, well, what do I mean by that? So I'm going to go into this real quick. Let me take my leg off here. Just for those of you who are experienced, bear with me. I think this is good education for people. So this is the whole leg, obviously, below the knee prosthetic in my case. The socket is the part that your residual limb fits into. Well, just like my case right now, mine doesn't fit real good. I'm going to need a new socket soon. That doesn't mean I need a new foot. So I could go to a prosthetic company and just ask them how much they would charge me to do a socket. Now, these sockets can be done for a lot of money, exorbitant amounts of money, $5,000 or so, or they can be done very cheaply, next to free, depending on the office, the heart of the practitioner, the person that makes a leg. You know, they may want to just do something to help you out, especially if they think you may get insurance later. So I would definitely look around. Nothing against big corporations, but they're probably not going to be as charitable as a local prosthetic company would be, just because a lot of times they're not allowed to be. I'm generalizing a lot. I don't want to besmirch any company out there or whatever, because there's lots of great guys that work for big and small companies. So I would definitely call around or go around and see about what you can do. Now, same thing with the prosthesis. You could get a whole prosthetic done very cheaply, maybe for $500, or very expensively, $11,000, I believe, is what they bill insurance a lot of times. So depending, if you need a whole leg, there's lots of different options. You could get on eBay and look for the feet, and you can buy those online, and you can get them for cheap. You can get some of the feet out there for under $200. I say cheap. I guess that's a relative terms, but in today's money, $200 isn't a ton of cash. Doesn't seem like anymore. But you may, and you may even be able to get a foot for, $50 or something. You go to other prosthetic companies, a lot of times they have feet just laying around. If they've been in business for years, they've switched feet out. A lot of times they keep them. They make, somewhere in the back, they may have a stockpile. Some people call it the graveyard of feet. So they may be able to throw a foot. It's the socket is really the most important part of the prosthesis. I could literally have a wooden foot on this prosthesis, and if it was lined up right, as long as the socket fits good, I'm still going to get around really well. Vice versa. If I don't have, I could have the best foot in the world. I could have the fanciest carbon fiber, lightest, bionic, whatever foot. If the socket, the part that my leg fits into, doesn't fit good, it's not going to do me the foot. That I will not benefit from that foot one bit, and I'm not going to be able to use that prosthesis very well. The socket is the key. That's why they take a mold of your leg when they make these. So that's just some things to keep in mind. There are probably a lot of other options out there. There's some other charities that you can apply with. Limbs for Life is one that I'm definitely, I think they're really busy, but from what I understand, they got quite a backlog. There's the Bar Foundation, I believe, is another one. You can get online and look for prosthetic charities and see what may be in your area, or even if it's not in your area. And a lot of those places, you get an application and they'll help pay for your prosthesis. What I'm trying to say is, if there's a will, there's a way. You wouldn't believe, I've had people come in that I've met before at some of our offices, being in the prosthetic field, that came in with prosthetics that they bought at flea markets that they were wearing, or feet they got from different places. There's definitely, if you want to walk, you want to get a prosthetic, there's definitely a way to do it. The sockets I was talking about, they can make some of the sockets out of different materials, like different plastics and stuff like that. They're typically made out of carbon fiber, but the plastics obviously wouldn't be as durable per se, but they're going to be a lot less expensive. And believe me, they're more than adequate for, in fact, for sports and stuff like that. They'll make prosthetics out of these different materials anyway, because they actually can take a beating and are more conducive to being cleaned off and salt water or water, mud, and all that stuff than a fancy carbon fiber leg. So there's definitely different options out there. There's even some other, I've done some research, other companies out there that are making prosthetics out of, if believe it or not, PVC type piping type of materials and stuff like that. They're making feet and sockets. So I would definitely, look to see what you could possibly apply for insurance wise, because having insurance is good. You can get a real nice leg and not have to, it's all a little bit of a hassle filling out the paperwork no matter what, even when you get insurance to get your prosthetic. Like I said, there may be other charities in your area, and then there's just going around to different prosthetic companies, telling them about your situation. A lot of them will let you put half the money down that they're going to charge you and then make payments also. You may not want to do something like this, but I bet a lot of them would even take a credit card and then you can pay that down. There's certain types of medical loans out there as well. I would caution a little bit. You don't want to get yourself into big time debt, but you got to weigh the pros and the cons of being able to get around and walk. You want to get a prosthetic. If you're a new amputee and you're healed, the sooner you get the prosthetic, the better, in my opinion. Your chances for success are typically better the less time that you wait to get back up there and get walking. If you're in an ill-fitting leg, you've been an amputee for a little while, got to get that socket replaced. There's lots of options out there, and it can be done fairly cheaply. So I would definitely inquire different prosthetic companies, get online, that sort of thing. You can really hurt yourself walking around in a leg that doesn't fit good, and that sort of thing. So that's my few tips. I know I'm leaving a lot out about what to do if you don't have insurance. So once again, a quick review. see if you can apply for disability, charities. You can buy feet and different prosthetic items online. Talk to your prosthetic companies and see if they're willing to work with you. Most of them, a lot of them are. Though like I said, they may want some money up front. And there's a prosthesis can be made for a very affordable amount of money if needed to be. I mean, they can be very expensive, but they can also be done very affordably. I think it's a shame. One of these days, maybe I'd love to be involved with a company that does do them for next to nothing, like a charity type of thing. So we'll see where those aspirations go later on down the road. So anyways, that's my 2 cents on not having insurance as an amputee and different things you can try to do. If you have any questions at all, please contact me. My info will be provided below. I'm going to put my cell phone number and my email, and that's it. Please enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you so much for checking this out. Be looking for the next video. We're going to talk a little bit about exercise and diet and its importance on, whether you're an amputee or not, on your lifestyle and your health. All right. So thank you. Take care.